My name is Faris Al Haidan. I'm international ambassador. I'm from Saudi Arabia. My major is electrical engineering, and that's almost my last year, so senior.
Hi everyone, my name is Akash Sharma. I'm a freshman here and my major is computer science. I'm one of the international student leaders.
Hi, my name is Glacier, and I am one of the international student leaders as well. I am from Bangladesh, and my major is business marketing.
Hi everyone, my name is Zhiting Ye and I'm majoring recreational therapies and I'm one of the international ambassador as well.
So me and my classmates, we come up with a group WhatsApp, and basically it was only for all like the closest friends. We were just only five back then. We started in March. Then after that, as time went by, we start adding more and more classmates until up to date, we're almost gonna close 100 members. And that's one of the things that we co-op with. It really helped us to connect, and also if there's a homework that it's a little bit hard, we could help each other locate where exactly to look at, and that really was very effective and helpful.
My The ways at which I coped up with the COVID-19 situation is just getting myself on time, getting myself on track, just keeping all of my classes and appointments on calendar, and I think that is the most and the major way. That's the major way in which I kept myself on track during these COVID days.
Way to cope with this continued changing situation now is not just not to think too much, not to think like overthinking, don't speculating, especially in the negative speculation, and just try to let ourselves not work on adapting to the new lifestyle and virtual environment. Since last semester, like in March, me and my peers were starting on discuss about the COVID and the things that happen and what might happen before the quarantine. But if the situation get worse or get control, but so when it became an online course, we were not surprised, and the 1 week adjust time is very helpful for us to be ready to transfer to the virtual classroom from the in-person classroom. And I think it wasn't too hard to adopt to virtual classroom in academic aspect, because some students might have experienced some sort of online class in the past semester. But the hardest part is the various change about daily. Especially waiting many different restraining order, like can do this and that, and you can go the place there and there, etc. And this can make us like anxious because we don't know if something will change while we wake up in every morning, and we are not the ones who make decisions but the ones who receive them. So the excessive anxiety won't help things get better and can only weaken our health and weak wellness. But I will sound so happy in the beginning of the quarantine because I can save an hour for everyday transportation.
Okay, so for me, yes, obviously it was hard to deal with in the beginning, but then I like to think to myself that, we're all in this together. It's not just me facing this problem. And then, so I stayed back in Fresno, and I still had some friends that stayed back as well. And, we all just were there for each other. I think like a good support system is important. I try to stay in contact with my parents as much as possible. Oh, sorry, my mic. Yeah, I think that just having people around you and having a positive mindset, that's how I coped with it. And not just, as Jennifer said, not overthink too much, because, we're all in this together. It's not just you facing this alone. Since it's all online, I think that just keeping on track of all the due dates and deadlines is important. So for me, I have mostly asynchronous classes, and at first it was so hard to deal with it because the professor had like a week to give us to complete all the assignments, and I basically had to put up my own due date. So I have a whiteboard and a planner to use, that keeps me, on track of completing all my assignments or tests to do. And also, the asynchronous classes, the professors post like lectures, so that way I just watch their videos and everything. I do have one synchronous class which I really like, because it does give me like motivation to actually get up in the morning and attend class. It does feel like the same time as going to the classroom. The only difference is that it's Zoom. But other than that, just I think keeping on track, like having due dates, having a planner, that really helped me.
I totally agree with Glacier. I also have a whiteboard that I have not only my class schedules, but also my free time, because usually I go to school by Uber, and between the classes, I would go to the other class, walk to the other class like 5 minutes, and sit there waiting for professor. But now, since everything is virtual, I start using that time, like go and drink water, go use the restroom, go do other stuff that would like make me still energetic and keep me hydrated throughout the day. So absolutely, time management was so effective. More free time, whiteboard, and also planner. I 100% go what Glacier said.
Me, it's been a key role to manage my time since I'm in my home country and I'm operating from here this entire semester. So the major problem comes in where, the difference in the time zone. So I'm 12 and a half hours ahead of the US time zone. So for me, the alarm clocks and my planner and my calendar notifications are my best friends. And there has been the days in which I've been up all night as well as all day. So managing time in this online semester, at first it was challenging, but as the semester passed, I got a hang of it. I got used to it. So those were.
What about your clocks?
Yeah, I reset my clocks, all of my clocks in my room to the US and Pacific time zone, so that I don't lose track of any, not even a single minute. So that's what I did.
No, time management, is absolutely most important things for all the online course, especially when you have a full online course. And I'm staying Fresno this semester, and I don't have to worry about the different time zone, but it still needs to put some efforts on time management, because the benefit about virtual environment is that we get more free time, right? Since we all stay at home mostly. But if I don't have a good time management, then I might probably do bad on all of my class, even I have so many free time. Well, register the course for this semester, me and my peers, we were thinking of that we could take some more class since we all have more time to study and don't need to go to a real classroom. But then we realized this is not as easy as we thought, because without a set time where we need to be on campus, it is easy to forget there is a class to attend through Zoom, or there are so many more science learning to do in virtual course compared with in-person class. For example, in my major, we have so many group discussion in the classroom, but since we are in virtual, the form of class discussion, our professor changed to writing assignment. So it is literally like having more due date every single week, and that we need to keep track on that. So I have to print out a big calendar, a big size, not a head size calendar, because I need to write so many things on it, and I have to stick on the wall in front of my desk so I won't forget it, and I can cross over every assignment I did, so I can keep on track. Yeah.
As I mentioned before, that I'm in my home country, so communicating with professors is being able to communicate with all of my professors is anticipatedly it's challenging, but it has been like a smooth way communicating with my professors all over the semester. So there are some professors who have laid out a timetable, so everybody in the class just follows that timetable. And in case you want to have something discussed off the class or off the record, you can just email that professor right away, and he'll send you he or she will send you the invite to the Zoom meeting. So the communication with the professors, I think in this virtual semester have been buttery smooth as compared to that in person. If it would have been in person, that you gotta hook up an email to the professor and wait up till he confirms the appointment of that office hour, right? So for me, the effectiveness of being able to communicate with my professors have improved in this virtual semester. So, and it is, as well as it is beneficial for me as I'm in my home country. So that's the only way for me to communicate with my professor, and it has been A1. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
No, okay. So it gets more challenging to communicate with professor and classmate. I mean, the best way to communicate with the people you don't know in the beginning of the semester is always through email, right? Because you only know the email address. But email is always not a convenient way to communicate with someone else immediately in our generation. And the response, because the response is always needs to wait for hours or days. And in some GE course, there are group projects, and that's the most important thing that really need a lot of communication with group member. And actual face-to-face communication is much more easier to convey idea with each others and discuss the best results out. Sending text message is a common way that we use right now, but it won't really helpful. No, it's not an effective way. And also, I enjoy the little time after all the in-person class, because after the class, the professor might stay in the classroom for a little longer. So if I have question, I can just go ask immediately, and I can get my response right away. And yeah, but I'm really appreciative for the professor that give response to my email within 24 hours, because it's really helpful. Because sometimes I was afraid of my email may get buried in their inbox if they don't reply me. Yeah.
Before, when we were still in person, it was easier to communicate with them, I think, because when we were in class, we could just wait a little bit after class if we have any questions to ask them. It was so much easier that way. And they had like office hours, and whenever we were on campus, it was so easy to just go to the room and talk to them whenever it was needed. And now, I mean, it's still okay, I think, because my professors, they do have office hours. They still hold office hours, and one of them actually holds it all day, so we could just jump in to the Zoom room whenever we need to. And I think that's a really good idea. It really has helped me. But I think the only difference is that not being able to, see them in person and like talk to them in person, waiting after class or even asking questions in class. But other than that, I think it's still good.
And most of my classmates, we see more effectiveness than challenges in our point of view. One of the things is, instead of waiting for the professor, sometimes they have a class and we wait for them, and then they go to their office, make sure everything is right, turn on the light, and then after that they help us. Now we just could schedule an appointment where it's the time between us is mutual and right. Other thing is, I'm an optical person. That means I like to see, and the same thing, I like you walk me through the problem. So not only professor that I need a little bit help with, but also tutoring. Now tutoring start being more easier to contact to them, because not only one person would help you. There's throughout the day, there's a lot of scheduling, and all of them like jump in, having the same like time from 9 to 6. Sorry, 5. And if you don't like that person, they you could jump up to another person. If that person busy with helping another student, you could jump up to another one. So at the end of the day, you could tell which one is your style of teaching. And I think tutoring was for this semester very helpful. And yeah. Okay, so the pros, more flexibility with the school scheduling, um, and also you could reduce the number of missed attendance days. You could use your laptop, you could use your phone, and believe it or not, one of my friends using their TV, smart TV, to go to Zoom and see the whole thing on their TV. So I think that's a really good pro. For cons, it can be really lonely experience. Like you're sitting by yourself in a room, having your laptop, nobody's sitting right. You could message your friends. That's all. Another con is not having a quiet area. One of my friends, she lives with her mom, dad, grandma, and her divorced sister with 3 children. So it's really hard for her that to keep not being distracted. It's really hard to. Nobody was prepared for that. And also, my last con is not being intuitive. You could mute yourself, mute everything. You could do whatever you want to do. The professor doesn't know what you're doing. So I think that's a really big con. That's it.
So a pro is kind of like what Ferris said. I feel like we do have more free time. So if we were in person, just we had to wake up earlier to travel to campus, and then in between classes, we had to find something to eat or like to drink so that we're ready for the next class. But I think if we're in Zoom, we could we're just at home, so we have so much free time. We have more time to study. We have more time to we're not using the time to commute to campus, and we're not using the time to do other stuff that we would do on campus. So I think that's a really good pro. And as for con, also kind of what Ferris said, you can easily mute yourself and do other things. It's such a big distraction, because I know sometimes we tend to not even listen to what the professor says, and we just do anything we want, maybe watch a movie or cook food or do other stuff on our laptop. So it's a big distraction, but but other than that, I think it does work well, just as long as you don't get too distracted.
The pros, as per the pros and cons for me, there are more pros than cons, but the cons that I have are the major ones. So why don't we just get started with the pros? So pros, personally, I feel that online simulation is a great effort in such unprecedented times in which you cannot be together, and because that's what the college is about: getting together and learning together, getting intuitive with your professors. But this online simulation provides the learning that needs to be provided to the students all over the campus in a similar way. But when it comes to the mapping of that education or the information, when it comes to the testing of your course or your classes, that can be easily skipped, or we can say deceptive. The testing could be deceptive. There have been some times in which my friends have faked their entire testing. They had somebody else take the test for them. So that's a major con for me, and I'm not in support of that at all. So and the pros are, as well as just like the Ferris and Glazer mentioned, that there's more scalability. You can even if you miss 1 or 2 class, you can just email a professor, and he or she could provide a makeup for you. And same goes for the test, and not the test, the assignments. So even if you miss 1 or 2 assignments, and so you can just email your professor or your lab instructor, so he or she could provide a makeup test or assignment for you. And being able to do that, is a very good thing for me, because I'm sitting all the way over here, 7 oceans across, right? So it's more frequent for me to miss an assignment due to the difference in time zones and all. So the pros are definitely more, but the cons are the major ones. Like, that should not happen. The idea of the simulation of this online semester is good, but the execution could be in a better way. Could be done in a better way. That's what I think.
Totally agree with the pros and cons that Ferris, Glazer, and Nakash said. I mean, it's that same thing happened to me, but I'm going to start with the cons. I have some cons. So first one is like we all have more time. Like, we always get distracted, but you get less opportunity to socialize with others. There's hard to find a new way to meet new people, and you get stuck at home. Like, if you always stuck inside a small room, that you will get a little depression about that no matter what. And also there's a problem about when everyone's stuck in home. I mean, in Fresno, I don't know in other place, but in Fresno, you receive the mails from some company, electricity company, and they'll say, oh, maybe like this week, someday, sometimes we will cut off your electricity. Yeah, that's really shock, because if they cut off the electricity, my internet will just cut off, and I won't be able to join the class. And there's happened one time, and I have to write an email to professor like, I'm sorry, I log off because my internet just get cut off. Yeah, like that. And about the pros, the best things in this virtual environment is you get a record lecture video. So while you in the in-person class, then you won't be able to have a control, or just pause the professor to, can you just slow down a little bit or something. But if you have a record lecture, I can just read it and pause it whatever I want and take in the notes and then continue. And there are also some record video have the subtitles. It's really benefits to me. And also, because this year is so different, some events or conference, they go virtual as well. Like, there's a conference they usually hold in New York in different time zone. I mean, in another side of the United States, but I get able to attend those events because it's virtual, and I just have to have my laptop sitting in front of me, and I can just attend it. I don't have to travel the whole side to the other side. Yeah. This change for me is, because we have so much time stay at home, so I have to develop a new habits or interest to do that I can do at home. So, I mean, I'm not good at painting, but I start painting a little bit, just to spend some time to express myself off while you don't have someone to talk with. Yeah. And I also do a little gardening, like I go buy some tomato and plant in the backyard. Yeah, so I can just eat the fresh food and I don't have to go to the market. Yeah.
Change is the way I eat. I usually, back to school, I usually just go to Panda Express since it's in Fresno State, and just order their infamous Panda Express orange chicken. So now, since I have a little bit of freedom of time, I start developing a hobby of trying new foods, cooking my favorite food, and I a little bit nailed it, but I never got the way where it's so delicious like Panda Express. So I definitely, that was a really large change since COVID hit us. Another thing is I started doing bicycling. I bought a bicycle and started doing bicycling. I've been always wanting to get one of these, and the time has come, and I got one, and it was a really cool experience. Thank you.
Okay, but I want to know what your specialty is now that you're cooking.
More of I like to cook lunch, anything that lunch. So biryani, chicken biryani. I would like to cook. I try to do ramen noodles. I try to do teppanyaki, but it needs the flat oven. So I like to do these things. I like to try my favorite foods, and yeah.
Me, I think the biggest change is that because before I was just so used to having, I don't know, like a social aspect, it's different now because, wherever everyone's home. So for me now, they're my roommates, they're all home and I'm home alone in the apartment. It's so new to me. I don't know. I feel like I have to be more independent and depend more on myself instead of talking to them or knowing that someone's in the house. So I think that's really different. I'm still adjusting to the part of like I really really have to be independent and like doing stuff for myself and just do me and have me time instead of having people around me. But that's pretty much it.
Biggest change that I've noticed in myself as being a computer science major before COVID-19, my screen time was pretty low, which is a bad thing in a computer science, as like you got to sit more on the computer and do all of your work. As I'm an outdoor person and a sporty person, I would like to go out and like play some sports like badminton, or as first mentioned, I own a bicycle too over there. So after this COVID-19, the COVID-19 has forced me to increase my screen time, and that has benefited me in a lot of ways. So I increased my screen time. My CSI assignments and my CSI midterms are going very good. Like I'm almost scoring an A in all of them. So I think that's the major and foremost biggest change I've experienced in my life ever since COVID, and that kind of supported the virtual environment as well, because you got to sit more in front of a laptop, right? Since the entire semester has gone online. So that's the one thing, and I consider this thing as beneficial and good for me, because that has enabled me to do more work for my curriculum, and which is beneficial for my academia in the future. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I want to quickly say I'm so proud of you all, my students. You are wonderful, and you hang in there, whether in your own country or in the US. You are amazing, and I applaud you for everything that you have tried to adapt and overcome. Thank you.
Well, it's like the whole virtual environment is like really hard for everybody, not like only students, but also like professors. And I agree with Jasmine that is like we're all in this like together because like we have to share our thoughts and everything to make things work. And yeah, I feel like through communications and sharings and like these panels and everything is actually putting thoughts into together, and then like we are actually like making changes and improving on the situation. So yeah.